Okay, now the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and design our registration page, and this is what our registration page is going to look like. So it's very simple, straightforward. The only thing that we're going to be adding will be two extra text fields for full name and for phone number. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into it. Okay, so here in our storyboard, the first thing we need to do is to go ahead and resolve the color issue that is plaguing our storyboard. So we need to fix it first by selecting a different color, so all the color comes back. Alright, now the next thing we need to do is to go to the toolbox and drag a view controller into the storyboard. So in case you experience this issue while you're building your app, what you can do in this situation is to go ahead and save all. When you save all, you close the solution and you quit Visual Studio. So this is one of the errors that you can actually run into, and this is just a workaround that I figured out. So just go ahead and restart your project and everything will be fine. So I'm quitting Visual Studio now. So we're going to load our project back. So this time around we expect that everything works just the way we expect it to. Okay, so everything is back to normal. Right. So the first thing we want to do will be to go ahead and rename our view controller. So I'm going to select the black bar and go to the properties. So the name of this view controller is going to be register view controller. Alright. Now the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and add a view. Right, so we're going to drag the view into the view controller. So we're going to expand it. We're going to change the color, of course, the background color. Alright, now the next thing we need to do will be to drag an image view into the layout. So this is more like the same thing that we had to do here. So you can also copy this from this place and paste this here. So it actually works out. So I can reduce the size of this image and shift this up a little bit. You can copy this and paste this here as well and drag this to this point. I can also copy all of this and paste this here. Copy this and paste this here. So I'm going to move this up a little bit. So this is more like a way of quickly designing your views without having to waste a lot of time. Now we need to go ahead and change the placeholder properties for these text fields that we just added to this page. So I'm going to go to the property window and I'm going to change this from email to full name, and this is going to be phone number. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the secure text entry that we had enabled before. So this is basically all that we need to do here. Now the next thing we need to do is to verify that our auto sizing and alignments are just well in order. Right, so I'm going to go to properties, go to the layout. Alright, so we're going to just do exactly the same thing that we did in the login page. So this should suffice. Alright, so this is well in order. Okay, so everything is just well in order. Alright, now the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and name all these elements that we have on our view, because we are going to be getting values from these elements. So it's very mandatory that we give them names. The names is what we are going to be using to reference them in our view controllers. So I'm going to go to the property window and set the name for the full name. So the name of this element is going to be full name test. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for phone. So we're going to call it phone test. And for email, we're going to have email test. For password, we're going to have password test. And for this button, we need to change the test property from login to register. You can have register or sign up. then register is okay. I'm going to change the name to register button. So for this test, we're going to change the test property to click to login. So when we click on this label, it's supposed to take us back to our login view controller or to our login page. Alright, so we're going to call this click to login. Alright, so here we're going to have this as click to register. And this is going to be login button. Alright, so this is going to be email test and password test respectively. Alright, now the next thing we want to do will be to run our app so that we can see the registration page that we just designed. But if we go ahead and run this app, it's going to display this page. So how to make our app start from the registration page is very simple. So we're going to go ahead and select our registration view controller and go to properties and tick is initial view controller. So now we're going to go ahead and run our app, and boom. So as you can see, our registration page is just well in order. So this is exactly what we want to have. So now that our design is ready, we can now get into other important stuff. So this will be all for now. See you in the next class.